The Spinoff Podcast Network.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Great days start with great underwear. So if you're looking for something special, give Tommy John and gift a better day. Everything we make is meticulously crafted from breathable stretch fabric for the perfect fit, including our sleepwear for him and her. It feels good to give, but it feels great to give Tommy John. Find something for everyone and pick up something for yourself. Because at Tommy John, greatness is in our very fabric. Shop TommyJohn.com/Spotify right now and save 30% site-wide. TommyJohn.com/Spotify. See site for details.
Hi, I'm Anna Rawhiti-Connell, Senior Writer at The Spinoff. Join me and special guests Emma Playhouse and Hayden Donnell live on stage at Q Theatre in Auckland on December 11 as we review the year. For a night of easy laughs and some razor-sharp takes, book tickets at thespinoff.co.nz/events.
Tēnā koutou te iwi o te whanganui ātara. Nau mai, haere mai. Welcome to the Year in Review, live from Hannah Playhouse. Please welcome to the stage your host for this evening, Senior Writer and Head of Audience at The Spinoff, Anna Rawhiti-Connell.
Hi. Welcome to the Year in Review. Before we get started, give it up for Tree. It's only downhill from there. Depending on your age and taste, my entrance music was either an absolute banger from Billy Joel, or I'm about to find out, and taking a punt on outing myself as a Billy Joel fan, whether I will need Joel MacManus' guide to the best places to cry in Wellington after this event. But it's been a lifelong fantasy of mine to review the year in song set to We Didn't Start the Fire. I honestly can't believe that I might have a shot at following in Fall Out Boy's shoes, who did that just last year, and that you get to join me. Treaty grounds and water fights, old and breaking water pipes. I was truly expecting a more horrified reaction. What is wrong with you people? There are a couple more lines. We'll see if we've got time to do them at the end. It's been another year that makes you think, surely this must be the last year like this. It's been a tough year for this city. It's been pronounced dead more times than Winston Peters' political career, and more times than double denim, which is clearly not true. I just want to say, as an Aucklander who dressed like an Aucklander coming to Wellington, relying entirely on that viral graph that did the rounds a wee while ago, which was winter, spring, shit. I assume November was shit, and so I am extremely hot right now. As a visitor from Auckland, I also needed a bit of help filling in the gaps about what happened in Wellington this year. So I asked ChatGPT. Unfortunately, its knowledge cuts out at April 2024. And unfortunately, so does mine, because that's when I stopped writing the bulletin for the Spinoff. But I've got great news. Fresh from not crashing the Inter-Islander, riding the length of New Zealand's public transport system, and winning hearts and minds all over the country, but especially in Invercargill and Oamaru, it's the Spinoff's Wellington editor, Joel MacManus. Joel, thank you for this hat. It's beautiful. Now, you're doing the year in review, but you've literally just returned from reviewing the entire country in 2024. How are you feeling?
Awful. I got home at 11 p.m. on Monday, immediately got up early in the morning the next day to cover the national apology for abuse in state care, went straight to bed afterwards, have not done a load of washing. All of these clothes came with me on the trip. Like, I smell really bad. Not great. Here's a wee summary of my trip, for anyone who wasn't following. I started in Stewart Island. That was 8 a.m. on Monday. I boarded the worst ferry in the world. And then, so I took a ferry, a shuttle bus, a lime scooter, a train, a ferry, a shuttle bus, the number 2 bus, the number 2 bus again, the number 31X, the train from Wellington to Auckland, a lime scooter, a bus, and a bus. And I reached the official end of New Zealand's public transport network, the Kaitaia KFC.
Can you tell me why you are wearing this exact propeller hat that I am now wearing and feeling weird about after you telling me you haven't done any washing in a while? Tell me why you are wearing a propeller hat in most of your photos from this trip.
I never explained that in the blog because it's quite a long story, and it all comes down to my love and adoration for the band Elemento P. Elemento P has been my number 1 artist on Spotify 3 years running. That is not a joke. I get a personalised video from lead singer Dave Gibson saying...
That is the highlight of every year for Joel, including 2024.
Elemento P just really speaks to me. In the song Every Day is a Saturday, when he said, call up some friends and I'm thinking of a barbecue mid-afternoon and there's nothing better to do. I like to barbecue in the afternoon. In the song I Love Nirvana, when he says, I love Nirvana, it doesn't mean I'll shoot myself. I like Nirvana, but that doesn't mean I'm going to shoot myself. I've seen Elemento P 6 times live, but the very first time I saw them was in Dunedin, and I was with a group of friends, and we had worn propeller hats we wore that propeller hat actually as part of a group costume. And the most amazing moment of my life happened, which is in this Snapchat photo. And that meant so much to me that I wanted to go back to Forsyth Bar Stadium and take a photo in the hat in that exact same spot, which I did not actually have time to do, but that's why it was on my head. And then once it was on my head, it kind of just became a bit, and people kept demanding it, and so it went the whole way.
It is the bit that keeps on giving. Amazing. Before people complain about having bought tickets to the Year in Review and not Joel's love affair with Elemento P described in great detail, I've got more exciting news for you. We've got 2 very special guests joining us tonight. We have host of RNZ's Midday Report, Charlotte Cook. And we also have Billy T Award nominee, Maria Williams. Okay, so we're gonna get into reviewing the year. And we're going to start with a really quick-fire question for all of you. Joel, did you think this year would be better or worse than last year?
Yes, optimist all the way. 2025 is going to be even better.
Was 2024 actually better or worse than last year?
Yeah, I went to the KFC in Kaitaia.
Charlotte, did you
Yes.
think this year was going to be better or worse than last year?
I had hope.
And did that hope come to fruition?
No.
Okay.
I had an unfortunate plumbing incident in my house and a lifelong battle with a vending machine. At RNZ. Yeah.
I know that vending machine.
Yeah, it's a bad one.
Maria, did you think this year would be better or worse than last year?
Every year I say, this is my year, and every year it's not. But 2025, baby.
Okay.
I think the Warriors say that too.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
You can tell we're in Wellington. You could never say that in Auckland. Okay, so I'm going to throw this out to the crowd. I want to know if you thought 2023 was better than 2024, cheer loudly now. And if you thought 2024 was better than 2023, make some noise. Ooh, true. We've still got some year to go. Correct. Okay, as I said, I am feeling incredibly hot, so I'm just going to take my jacket off. Can you just hold that?
Great podcast material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super audio based.
I like your Crocs. Let's.
Okay, she's taking her jacket off slowly.
To reveal a Ray Gun t-shirt that says Ray Gun, show 'em how it's done.
Woo!
Anna?
Would I
What's
like
with the Ray Gun t-shirt?
Thanks for asking, Joel. So I wanted to talk about some of the big pop culture viral moments of the year. And for me, Ray Gun, hands down. Not even her dancing, which was utterly terrible, but the follow-up around it was incredible. And that woman has ridden that bad breakdancing train all the way to a bunch of brand deals and a life as an influencer. And I have nothing but respect for that hustle.
Snaps for Ray Gun.
I've got no respect for Ray Gun. If her, actually, I felt like I couldn't say anything because it then came out being like, the world is bullying Ray Gun. And honestly, she deserved it. People have to remember, do you know what made me mad? She wasn't representing Australia. She was representing Oceania. You guys, she was representing us. And I know 10-year-olds that could have danced better than her.
Oh. Do you have an alternative, better moment that made you happier and less angry than Ray Gun?
Every day that I didn't think about Ray Gun. If her, man, I can't, no, something went wrong. Like, how did she win in Australia, let alone Oceania?
I'm deeply familiar with the conspiracy theories around it, but we need to jog on. Charlotte, have you got a favourite moment, viral pop culture moment?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to Ray Gun you, but one better.
Okay.
And think of all the great things that could have come out of the Olympics. We had the Olympic shooter, the Turkish dude who raw dogged the pistol, hand in pocket with the pistol out, pretty much eyes closed.
The Olympics truly was a gift. I got at least 2 completely ridiculous pieces of writing out of it. There was one about Ray Gun and one asking whether the Olympic opening ceremony was satanic. So it was a great year for the Olympics.
We haven't even talked about the pole vaulter.
No, true that. Joel, have you got a maybe a closer to home kind of pop culture viral moment that stands out for you?
Yeah, this was another spin-off story, this one by Mad Chapman, but the time that RNZ played songs with the word motherfucker and bussy, and thankfully we have a representative from the national broadcaster here, so Charlotte, can you please defend your organisation?
Yeah, as an unofficial spokesperson in this moment, I enjoyed this spin-off article because I went back and we have this beautiful thing called the text machine. I think it's 50 cents when you text in and complain about me, so good spending. But I went and had a look at the exact time period that this song played on the radio, and I tell you what, you loved it. You loved it. And consequently, I've also got a little bit of schooling happening at RNZ because it's bussy. It's not bussy. We're not talking about public transport. It's bussy.
Can we, though?
Soon, my precious, soon. Okay, so I guess we're going to need to talk about a very recent big event.
I mean, do we have to?
We could just talk about Brat. Just move on. Okay, all right. Charlotte, can you explain Brat? I heard, unfortunately, I listened to the BBC World Service on the evening of the event, which we won't talk about, and listened to a BBC news presenter explain what Brat was in reference to Kamala Harris being described as Brat, and it was excruciating. So I'm just wondering whether you,
She'll
from
find the
our
next best excruciating thing.
national broadcaster, could do a better job explaining what Brat is.
Messy? We're thinking smudged eyeliner, Amy Winehouse-esque. The wired headphones. We've all moved to earpods, but we want the ones that have still got the cords for jangling.
Yeah.
That's my Brat.
Maria, what's your take on Brat?
Well, obviously Charlie XCX, and what I love about it is people think it's Gen Y or Z or whatever the heck we're up to culture, but actually it's millennial culture, and it's millennials, I think, it's millennials being still in their party era, which I love. And so, yeah, it's black, it's grunge, it's listening to Charlie XCX, it's like smoking, I feel like it's wearing sunglasses inside, you know.
Yeah.
There goes Brat. Yeah.
Joel, is Wellington Brat?
I don't feel remotely qualified to answer this question. I think the bucket fountain's Brat. I think tree's Brat. I don't know. I'm going to ask the audience. So if you think Wellington is Brat, yell Brat. And if you think Wellington is not Brat, yell not Brat. 3, 2, 1, go! Yeah, see?
Brat. Wellington is Brat.
Yeah.
Great segue into what you've all come here for, which is to talk about your wonderful city and have Spinoff's Wellington editor talk to you about this wonderful city. It's been a huge year for Wellington observers. We've had one move out and one got moved in. So, Joel, thoughts on who's observing Wellington these days?
Well, I went back to the date that Quasi was installed. Since then, we've had the library shut down, the town hall's gone over budget, the pipes have been breaking at ever-increasing rates, rates have gone up exponentially. This is the change of leadership we needed.
Okay, best of luck to Lindsay McKenzie. Now, Joel, you've had a huge year. What have you been up to?
Well, first off, I declared war. That was cool. War! So this was war! This was the War for Wellington, which was my project about the district plan. Who here was brain dead enough to read that? I won't go into too much detail. This was about, the rules around apartments, townhousing, getting more houses in Wellington. I read all 1,472 pages of the independent hearing panel report on the city, which was just filled with some of the most bizarre, motivated reasoning you could possibly find to reject higher density housing. So I have written a ranking of my 5 favourite quotes from the IHP report.
Getting your money's worth tonight, folks.
So the first one was about what counts as a train station, because you have to put apartments near train stations. And it decided that the Johnsonville train was not a train. And this was the quote we had. There is no market advantage to taking the train compared to the private car. Now, number 4 was around walking distance and what it meant, how far from the city was walking distance, because you had to densify in those areas. And some people presented some census data about where people walk from in Wellington, and the IHP rejected it because we can readily believe that people might walk a reasonable distance to work, because that is generally downhill. That did not tell us, however, how they get home.
That's crazy.
That is real, and the chair of the IHP was questioned on it, and he said there is an evidentiary hole. My third was the one part of the IHP report where they accidentally upzoned and allowed higher housing, which was in Oriental Bay. I don't know, for NIMBY reasons, there'd been a 12-metre height limit. And for technical reasons, and the council not submitting some evidence, the IHP had to allow taller buildings, and they hated it. Here's this quote. We have been forced to recommend that the height limits be a minimum of 21 metres. Then the next was about whether we should allow more density in the inner city suburbs, and whether that would improve affordability by having more homes near the city. This was their take. Rents in the inner city would always remain high because of the attractiveness of the area. Put another way, the market is unlikely to deliver affordable homes irrespective of the level of planning regulation. Why even try?
So, Joel, was there one more?
There's one more.
Is this
number one. Number one,
Okay.
my favourite quote. Let's just put it on screen. They're saying the reason for Wellington's housing shortage is because house prices aren't high enough.
Seems logical. All right. So, who won the war for Wellington?
Well, I declared the war, and then I wrote this article saying that housing won the war. But I actually got an email somewhat recently from a property developer. It was sent to the city council, but it was CC'd to me from Wilson Quinn from Former Group, telling me that they've just started a new development in Mount Victoria and a 12-storey apartment building on Vivian Street, that they're starting progress, that would not have been possible before your changes to the district plan.
Journalism in action. Now, we do have to talk about this next thing. Sorry, I heard the groan. We have to talk about it because it is, at this point, 11 months into the year, the most read article on the Spinoff. Wow. A definitive list of woke and non-woke food.
The most read article ever.
The most read article this year for 2024. And let me tell you, it took about 7 staff writers in Slack 20 minutes. Now, Maria, what are your thoughts on
I've got a lot of thoughts.
the genesis of this particular groan-inducing issue that naturally we took debate on with David Seymour's school lunches and him calling sushi woke?
Well, it's racist essentially, isn't it? Because the idea that woke food is food from other lands and non-woke food is, sandwiches. But I have a lot of opinions because I taught at a low decile school that got the meals. And so we were so happy when we finally got these meals, especially because there's vegetables in them. Important point. That's now something that's gone is vegetables. But what I wanted to say is I was so mad at how everyone was like, just give the kids sandwiches, because every week, one day would be sandwiches, and every week we would end up chucking them out because the kids just didn't want them, didn't like them. I don't know if I should say this. Is this good or bad? Is this helping the cause? I don't know. But the kids loved the teriyaki chicken, the nachos, and the butter chicken. Those days flew. They had to run to get food that day. So anyway, I have a lot of opinions about the lunches and why we need to keep them because they're really important. And at the school I used to work at, they actually brought lunch forward because kids weren't having breakfast. So it was actually 2 meals in a day. When you think about it, that's a bargain.
That is a real bargain.
And lunch and breakfast is worth more than $3 or whatever they've budgeted for it now.
There we go. Strong, correctly held opinions about school lunches. Very quickly, baked beans, woke or non-woke?
Well, not woke.
Non-baked beans.
Woke. Vegetable.
Charlotte, curry, woke or non-woke?
Butter chicken, not woke. Like it. Another one, woke.
Okay. Any other curry?
Can you name another curry?
Joel, quinoa, pronounced quinoa, woke or non-woke?
Saying it that way is real woke.
No, woke in any way. Quinoa.
What about?
Okay, that's woke.
What about if I pronounce it quinoa?
That's not woke. That's not woke. That's like saying taupo.
That's not woke.
Ooh. Out to you. Pizza, the Bill English special, spaghetti topped, woke or non-woke?
Not
Pizza,
woke.
other,
Shit.
woke or non-woke? Correct.
Applies with the curry too. Pizza, other. Curry, other.
Other was
I
quite...
still can't think of another curry.
Other got the 7 spin-off writers in 20 minutes out of quite a few conundrums.
Yeah.
That's how we managed to do that one particularly quickly.
Make it 8 writers.
Moving on from the torturous issue of woke and non-woke food, I want to ask you about politics at a national level and who's had a good year and a bad year. Joel, let's start with you. Who has had a good year?
I mean, Chris Luxon's had a good year because he's Prime Minister and he loves being Prime Minister. Like, you ever see him at these events, when he's at a big ceremony or something, he loves it. He's a student of political history. He's in an exciting new job that he's dreamed of his whole life. He's got this boyish grin on him. He's just having a ball. I've actually been in a room with him where he's sort of doing the rounds, doing social stuff, and he just tells stories about meeting the president of this country and that country, and he's having the time of his life, but I just wonder how long that lasts.
Who's had a bad year?
I suppose. We talked about whether I'd make a prediction for the next election, and I really can't because I still think she has a very strong chance. But I don't think she's going to look back on this year and say it's been full of wins.
It's been a rough year. Charlotte, who's had a good year?
Okay. This is a hot take. Potholes, good year. Speed bumps to Island Bay, good year.
Who's had a bad year?
Well, you should be driving the speed limit. So, I don't know.
Great days start with great underwear. So if you're looking for something special, give Tommy John and gift a better day. Everything we make is meticulously crafted from breathable stretch fabric for the perfect fit, including our sleepwear for him and her. It feels good to give, but it feels great to give Tommy John. Find something for everyone and pick up something for yourself. Because at Tommy John, greatness is in our very fabric. Shop TommyJohn.com/Spotify right now and save 30% site-wide. TommyJohn.com/Spotify. See site for details.
Blinds.com Cyber Monday Last Chance is happening now. Don't miss out on up to 45% off site-wide. A Blinds.com design expert can help you make the perfect selection on your schedule. We can handle everything from measure to your whole home installed for one low cost. With over 25 million windows covered, Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Save up to 45% site-wide, plus a free professional measure right now at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Does your brand have something important to say through meaningful messaging that reaches the right audience? At The Spinoff, we work closely with our partners to create bespoke campaigns that bring value to both your brand and our audience. If you're interested in learning more about partnering with us, email Beck, that's BEC, at thespinoff.co.nz.
Maria, who do you think, or what do you think's had a good year politically?
Oh. A good year. Who's had a good year? Was that the question? A lot of dickheads have had good years, haven't they? So just a lot of dickheads. Yeah.
Okay. Personally, I think it's been a really bad year for political speech making, and I think it's been a really good year for tortured metaphors about darkness before the dawn. Right, we're going to turn our attention back to Wellington. Joel, you've done a lot of very big and important investigations, but perhaps your most significant was this: the hunt for the killer bike lane. Talk to me about that.
This story came about after Pandoro closed, and...
Was that a boo or a cheer for Pandora show closing?
And multiple media outlets just uncritically reported the complaints that it was due to cycle lanes. And then I looked into it and they had 3 locations and none of them were anywhere near a cycle lane. I just don't know what's wrong with this city. Like this week, a media outlet that I won't name, it rhymes with the most, ran a story about a grandmother who almost got hit on a cycle lane that included the quote, "Yes, I was standing on the cycle lane, but..." What is wrong with us? Why can't we have a proper conversation about use of road space and whether, the fact that not everyone can drive everywhere and park directly outside every shop? Why do we not understand the basics of physics and maths and how things fit? Why are people in this city so pig-headed and fuck? I'm done. Oh, that sounds awful.
I have to say, the last time I came down here for work and with a bunch of Spinoff people for a Wellington thing, I was actually wearing this exact same outfit minus the ray gun t-shirt. So sorry if you were there and it's a repeat. But we came back after you had a bit of a chat with some of our members and supporters and partners, and honestly we were like, Joel is the Mayor of Wellington. I want to look at something we've talked about, stuff that's grabbed headlines, things most people are probably familiar with or remember or have now had recapped for them. Charlotte, what is one story that you don't think got enough airtime this year?
Okay, it's deeply passionate for me. And if you've listened to me on the radio at some point, I will have talked about the water shortage in Wellington. Do you remember that? And they were like, we're going to have a water shortage and you need to save your shower water, get your buckets in there with you. You need 20 litres a day per person per day for 2 weeks, and you've got to hide it in the back of your cupboards, under your beds, behind your couches. We didn't have a water shortage. So there's some poor Wellingtonians that have stored, I'm going to say thousands of litres of water behind their couch. Like, we've already got damp issues. More coverage on the water.
So to confirm, am I right in thinking you're mad we didn't have a water shortage?
More coverage.
More coverage.
More water.
Has anyone still got water stored behind the couch? Okay, one person.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, all right. You hang on to that, and yeah.
But can you even store it for that long?
I don't know the limits on storing water in a
It's
bucket
a whole
behind your
thing.
couch.
It's a whole thing.
Joel, is there a story or an issue you don't think got enough airtime this year? It's not cycle lanes.
That was my answer. I mean, it did just happen, and I'm not saying it needs like more hard news coverage, but I just think we need to take even more time to appreciate how funny the Andrew Bailey story was.
Context real quick. We're all very intelligent and up to date, but context real quick.
Joel, can you just fill, not Maria, the room and on that particular story?
For anyone in the room, this was Minister Andrew Bailey, who's the Minister of Trade? No, small business?
Business, small.
Commerce? Other words? Business? Maths?
Merchants.
Who was visiting an export business, and it was trying to make a gag, said to a staff member sitting there, something along the lines of, "What are you still doing here? Go home, you loser. Take some wine and fuck off."
And he actually did
that.
Yeah.
An L shape on his forehead.
He did an L shape on his forehead. Have you ever done that to a staff member?
Yeah, I've done that when I was 7 years old.
Maria, what is one thing that's happened this year that you can't believe happened?
Yeah, I have something that I bring up every single week, and it's when ACT's spokesperson for the arts couldn't I think come up with an author from New Zealand, and then when asked if he'd ever gone to the theatre, he stumbled around for a while and then confirmed that he had been to a show, Hamilton, in New York City. So we love talking about this in the arts all the time. What a great representative for the arts, someone who seemingly has never been to an artistic production in this country. Horrific. Make me the spokesperson of the arts.
For the ACT Party.
I've got a mic.
Joel, what's one thing you can't quite believe happened this year? Aside from travelling the length of New Zealand using only trains, buses and lime scooters, personally.
I think that was my answer. I mean, I kind of can't believe that island-based cycleway discourse is still happening.
Neither can I. Charlotte, what is one thing you can't believe happened?
I honestly can't believe that we're still in 2024. Like, are we done? Or are we, what's happening? Are we still, we're still living? It's not 2023 or 2025?
No, 2024.
It's all up here, baby. We got Christmas, we got summer. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. I couldn't think of a third good thing.
We've got Christmas, we've got summer, and it is now legal to play Mariah Carey's Christmas album.
No, I don't think it is. December, right? Okay, let's put it to the crowd.
I'm the host.
Actual? Okay. Should we only play Christmas music from the 1st of December as Jesus intended? Thank you. I'm not even going to do the other vote, but one person is aggressively shaking their head at me.
Was that a song?
It was like the tumbleweed equivalent of a glass.
Okay. Okay, fine. I'm wrong.
Do it again.
We'll see what my exit music is, everybody. Okay, Charlotte really wants to be done with this year. Yeah, that was the least enthusiastic.
No, actually, it's
take.
been a really good year, but aside from my plumbing problem and the vending machine.
And the buckets of water.
The buckets of water.
Yeah, I can't believe we didn't have that shortage.
What a shit year. That's it. 2024 sucked, everybody.
RNZ Midday Report has been excellent in 2024.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Joel.
What a suck up.
He used to work with me.
So, moving on from 2024.
Yeah, please.
Yep. I would like a few predictions from all of you about 2025. Joel.
I think David Seymour's going to hate being Deputy Prime Minister. I think that's going to be really not fun for him. And I think Winston's going to love not being Deputy Prime Minister. It's the worst possible job to have while campaigning, considering those two only know how to campaign as opposition. So they're not going to have fun.
Got any predictions around the local government elections?
Turnout will be up by 5% in the Northern Ward.
You heard it here first.
That's the scoop.
Charlotte, what are your predictions for next year?
Thinking long and hard about this, the ferry will crash. Or
Wait,
or
what? Touch wood. Fuck.
I mean, like, not crash. Like, the other day they called it a crash and it just bounced off the wharf, which apparently is normal procedure.
They don't have very good controls for who can drive.
You know, because you were allowed to drive the Inter-Islander ferry. I mean, maybe
They're
that should start
asking for
there for why
disaster.
it keeps crashing.
No, I don't think it will, but I think we are going to need to cover a lot of stories about the ferry situation, our State Highway 1, the biggest pothole in the New Zealand network, as some people describe it. And there's something I think that will not happen in my crystal ball moment, is that no one else is going to try to travel the length of Aotearoa via public transport. That's like a one and done. So, well done, but never again, New Zealand. Thank you.
Yeah, one of our readers called it a vision quest, and yeah, I don't know that anybody else should undertake it. Maria, predictions for next year?
I've got no real hot takes. I reckon Inter-Island is going to be amazing, first of all.
Thank you. Balance.
I don't know if this is the crowd for it, but I'm really putting it out there, and I really hope Chapel Roan comes to New Zealand. So
Yeah.
if we start manifesting it now, everyone say it 3 times before you go home. I don't know. Maybe we'll get there. That's my.
Do you want them
only
to do
thing.
it now?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do a live manifestation.
Okay. On the count of 3, I want everyone to say hot to go. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Hot to go.
Oh, she's coming, all right.
And LMNOP's releasing new music.
Okay, that's less important, but yeah, same vibe.
Yeah.
I have to stick with a bit around my prediction because every year when the Spinoff writes our predictions for the coming year, our political predictions, I very seriously bought into some highly incorrect conspiracy theory rumours about the leadership of the National Party, and I thought I would sound smart if I said that Nicola Willis would become the leader of the Nat. Not only smart, I thought I sounded feminist. And I repeated it again last year. And so all I can do, I've got to own it. So I've really got to go in
Lean
with
in.
2020. Lean in. I've got to lean in. As a good woman does and should.
I don't know if this is quite the win for feminism that you're implying that it would be.
So my prediction for 2025 is that Nicola Willis will lead the National Party.
Say it one more time.
Local
If
MP.
you're going to commit like you mean it.
We know the manifest everything.
You don't want people to yell that out. Who wants to yell Nicola Willis?
Should we do Chaperone again?
Yeah, on the count of 3, hot to go. 1, 2, 3.
Hot to go!
Okay. Unbelievably, that's the end of 2024. And the review.
No, don't forget, there's still summer and Christmas to come.
And yeah.
As we have been reminded, I would love to say thank you to my colleague, Wellington's finest, Joel MacManus. To our guests, the wonderful Maria Williams and Charlotte Cook. To Eleanor, Scott, and everyone at the Hannah Playhouse, the Embassy Theatre, who kindly lend us these chairs for every show we do. And Ben and I here roll them over the road again afterwards. Speaking of to I Butler, our absolute genius, guy in the booth up the top there. Woo-hoo! Spinoff crew, Tina Tiller, Mad Chapman, Isaiah Tua, Ben Fagan, very importantly, Tree.
Different song. We need a different song.
And finally, you, the audience. Thank you so much for coming out. We have 2 more events in the Spinoff Live event series. Duncan Grieve will be here in February as part of the Fringe Festival for a live recording of the very best media nerd podcast around, The Fold. And Claire Maybe will be hosting a very exciting Spinoff book club event in March. So keep an eye out. Tickets go on sale soon. Thank you so much for coming tonight. You've been a brilliant audience. Enjoy some Mariah Carey Christmas music.
Boo! Block your ears. Block your ears.
Do you find it hard staying optimistic with all the financial news in the media? I'm Bernard Hickey, and on my podcast, When the Facts Change, I'm here to help you navigate the ever-changing landscape of economics in Aotearoa. So join the conversation every Friday on When the Facts Change, brought to you by the Spinoff Podcast Network in partnership with KiwiBet.
Kia ora e te iwi, Te Aihe Butler here, podcast manager at The Spinoff. If you enjoy listening to our podcasts, consider supporting our mahi by signing up to become a Spinoff member at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Kia ora, this is Toby Manhire, here to urge you to tune in to Gone by Lunchtime, a podcast with me, Annabelle Lee Mather and Ben Thomas, tackling the world of New Zealand politics, from policy to polling, from scandal to psychodrama. Listen to Gone by Lunchtime, brought to you by the Spinoff Podcast Network, wherever good pods are sold.
The Spinoff Podcast Network.